What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. And I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge.
Hello and welcome to Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. This beautiful Monday evening, once again, it's our pleasure to always be your host on this program. And today we are continuing with our discourse on defeating diabetes using very natural means, particularly through diet and lifestyle. Maybe with some supplements, to supplement the main budget. The main budget is your diet and your lifestyle, and then the supplements represent the supplementary budget. Again, I have with me today Dr. Akinyemi, who will be discussing with me our 10-point agenda on reversing and preventing diabetes. Now, I want you to pay attention. Now, we have looked at factors responsible for the causation of diabetes. We have also started looking at the 10-point agenda. We have looked at 2 so far. We didn't complete the second one. The first one is what we call neuroprogramming, or rethinking your beliefs. We dealt with that very extensively. And then we started out last week by looking at the second one, working on your diet. Okay? Part A of that, we talked about things that a diabetic should never indulge in. The kind of foods you should never eat, the kind of things you should never drink if you're diabetic, if you hope to reverse your diabetes. If you don't want to continue to put more more kerosene into fire, more fuel into fire, you need to stay away from them. We gave you a long list. Please pay attention to them. And then we signed off last week by looking at our breakfast options. And we talked about the raw cocoa keto smoothie breakfast. We gave you the recipe for that and the rationale for the recipe. Why do we have each of the ingredients included in that recipe? Coconut milk or tiger nut milk or almond milk or hazelnut milk, a nut milk as your base, avocado pear or baby coconut, omega-3 oil such as flaxseed oil or fish oil or krill oil or cod liver oil, and then extra virgin coconut oil, which is your medium chain triglycerides, and then cinnamon powder, Ceylon cinnamon, flaxseed or chia seed, and then the protein powder, and some optional ingredients like stevia to sweeten, like kiwi, like berries, strawberries, blueberries, what have you, like carob powder if you want it chocolatey, diatomaceous earth, okay, and greens like spinach, like lettuce, and so on and so forth, and then turmeric, ginger, garlic, all of those are optional ingredients in your cocoa keto smoothie breakfast. Indeed, today we're going to go into our kitchen and we're going to show you a demonstration of how to make that smoothie today. So stay tuned. And then, of course, we also began to talk about, what the keto diet is about and what ketone bodies are and what have you. And certain questions cropped up, which we will be starting with today. After that, we will progress to look at our lunch options and supper options. And particularly for those in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, particularly in Western Nigeria. People have read books that are written by foreign authors, and the kind of menu, the kind of recipes, the kind of food that are mentioned in those books are not things that are found in our own locality. And people say, well, those books they're wonderful, but unfortunately we cannot do the recipes or the diets that are proposed because that's not our kind of diet in this part of Africa or in this part of the world. And so are there no local alternatives? And so today we're also going to be showing you how to prepare low glycemic Nigerian foods. And we apologize to our international viewers who may not be familiar with these ones, but some of them, of course, will be relevant to you if you're an international viewer. But particularly for those who are Nigerians, these are going to be local Nigerian foods that are very good in helping you to manage your blood sugar. Okay, so we'll be dealing with that. We'll be making some swallows. We call them swallow in this part of the world. We'll be making amala from aubergine, garden eggs, eggplant. We'll be making fufu from cabbage. And then we'll be showing you how to make a few other fantastic things like cauliflower rice, for example, and then some other kinds of swallow that are low glycemic. You can eat all you want and your blood sugar will not rise. Because some people who are diabetic have been sentenced to eating beans and beans and beans every day and they are tired. You don't have to be sentenced to a lifetime of eating beans 3 times a day. There are varieties that you can enjoy your life, enjoy your meal, and still have your blood sugar under control for the rest of your life, even without medication, okay? So we're going to begin with 1 or 2 questions today, and then we're going to move on right to our table and show you all the demos for today. Enjoy. Now, I have with me once again Dr. Melody Akinyemi. You are welcome to this program.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, so I'm going to begin with you for the questions that we have that have been sent. Somebody asked, how does the raw cocoa keto diet help a diabetic patient, okay, in their blood sugar management? Exactly what is the mechanism of action? What are the dynamics? So how does it help?
Well, the raw cocoa keto diet, the smoothie, what it does is it provides you with alternative sources of energy aside from glucose, so that your body you don't have to rely on glucose. You don't have to take in anything containing glucose to get energy. So the idea is to induce the production of ketone bodies. And as we explained in the previous episode, ketone bodies serve as an alternative source of energy in the body from glucose. So if a diabetic patient starts out their day with the raw cocoa keto smoothie, for example, they have energy to carry out daily activities without having to deal with the stress of metabolizing glucose when they are not well equipped as at that time to metabolize glucose.
And with those ketone bodies, they wouldn't need insulin.
No, they wouldn't need insulin.
So insulin is bypassed.
Yes.
So whether the pancreas is producing enough insulin or not is immaterial. Whether the body has insulin resistance or not is immaterial.
The idea is for the body not even to have to produce insulin so that they can switch over to even producing the ketone bodies by themselves.
So it's like we're saying there is a way you can supply a source of energy to your body that will not require insulin for you to use that energy source.
Yes.
And so you are using essentially healthy fats. Not unhealthy fats, because there are fats that heal and there are fats that kill. And so these ketone bodies from healthy fats such as avocado oil, coconut oil, and olive oil, and flaxseed oil, and even butter. Unsalted butter, and all of that, they all help to produce this ketone body. So we're going to be demonstrating how to make that. I ask a second question before we move on. Somebody sent in this question. He said, won't those who are on a keto diet go into hypoglycemia since they are restricting their carbohydrates?
Well, yes, they're actually in some form of hypoglycemia, but without the adverse effects of hypoglycemia, because their body would have slowly transitioned into using ketone bodies instead of glucose. Okay. So hypoglycemia is only dangerous if there is no alternative source of energy. But once there's an alternative source of energy, even if your blood glucose is at 30 milligrams per DL, you're good to go.
Right, because at least you have something to lean on. Yes. It's like the main electricity supply, municipal supply, or electricity company has cut off, and you have a generator to back up, or an inverter. To back up, so you are still not in darkness, even though there is no main power supply to the house. So if glucose supply is not there, at least there is fat, ketone bodies that is available for you to use. Good. So please, we also want to make an announcement. Send in your questions on diabetes in particular, any aspect of diabetes. You can post it in the chat room right now as we speak. If you send in those questions, if we have enough of those questions, what we're going to do is we're going to dedicate a whole episode to answering all of those questions, if we have enough of them. But if we don't have enough of them, then we may have to skip that option. But we hope the questions will keep coming. All right, so now, as we talk about the second step in our 10-point agenda, working on your diet, we have given you 2 points. The first one are things to eliminate from your diet. The second one has to do with your breakfast, the raw cocoa keto smoothie, which we are going to demonstrate. And the third key you must note in working on your diet is that fiber is very key, roughages. You must always eat a big bowl of vegetable salad immediately before any cooked food that you are going to eat during lunch and supper. So before your lunch, eat a bowl of salad. Before your supper, eat a bowl of salad. Fiber is very important. And don't eat your supper too late. Ideally by 5 o'clock, 6 p.m., latest by 7 p.m., you should have eaten your supper. That is also a third key in working on your diet. And then your lunch and supper options. During lunch, we recommend that you eat your vegetable salad representing 50% of your lunch, and then your cooked food should be 50% of your lunch. During your supper, eat a large bowl of raw vegetable salad, approximately 70% of your supper, and then cooked food constituting just about 30% of your supper. But if you are obese or overweight and you want to shed some weight, your supper can actually be 100% vegetable salad. And then that will help your weight to keep falling off gradually until you attain your ideal body weight. Okay? Those are your options. I know the next necessary question to ask is, okay, the cooked food portion, what should constitute our cooked food? Again, we're going to do a demo for you today, or several demos, I should say. The options you have for your cooked food could be low-calorie food options, or what we call medium-calorie food options with low glycemic index or medium kind of glycemic index. Now, for the low-calorie food options, which you can eat during lunch or during supper, over and after your salad, cabbage fufu, we are going to demonstrate that to you today. Aubergine amala. For Yorubas in particular, we are going to demonstrate that to you. That is making amala from garden egg or eggplant. And then you can also make something that looks like fufu or semovita by mixing different kinds of flours like almond flour plus coconut flour and then psyllium husk or arrowroot flour as the binder. Arrowroot flour can serve as a binder and thickener. Psyllium husk can also do similarly. Psyllium husk is just essentially fiber, soluble fiber, and it helps you to thicken and to also bind so it doesn't crumble, it doesn't fall apart. Okay, we're going to demonstrate some of these things to you today. You can have stir-fried veggies, cauliflower rice, pumpkin pottage, fermented foods, and many more as your low-calorie food options. And then for the medium-calorie food options, you can have unripe plantain amala, where you just wash the plantain, you don't peel it, you cut it with the skin, and then you put it in your blender, blend it with very little water, make it very thick, and then pour it into your cooking pot, put it on fire, and use your spatula to turn it as if you're turning amala. And within 5-10 minutes maximum, is done. And then bean products like moi moi, mashed beans, and so on and so forth, except fried beans products. Lentils, sweet potato, and whole grains like quinoa, oats, barley, amaranth, millet, sorghum, rye, wild rice, brown rice, spelt. All of these are whole grain, unprocessed, unrefined. They're high in fiber, and they help you in managing your blood sugar very well. We are also going to show you a few of these options. So these are the options we have for you today, and then we will be signing off thereafter. Come along with us as we go to our makeshift kitchen to demonstrate all of these. Thank you. You can actually reverse diabetes. When you understand diabetes, you understand what it is, you understand how it happens, the risk factors, the causes, and the complications that it can give rise to. Those who already have it, to start putting measures in place to reverse it, or at the very least to control it. My daughter is a medical doctor and I am a nutritionist. We co-authored Defeating Diabetes Naturally. You'll find it on Amazon.com, and you can also buy hard copies from our bookshop, the Shepherd Stores Limited, on number 18 Shogunde Street, Abule Onibagbo, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. welcome to our makeshift kitchen. Today we are going to do a few demos for you. We'll be doing the raw cocoa keto smoothie breakfast demo. We'll be also giving you the soaked oats breakfast option. There are a few other breakfast options on the diabetic diet, which time will not permit us to demonstrate, but we will demonstrate those too. And then for your cooked food options for lunch or supper, as the case may be, we'll be demonstrating two. We'll be making aubergine amala, and then we'll be making cabbage fufu. Of course, there are other options, but we're just demonstrating these four for today. And the ingredients we're going to be using are all here. So let me first of all show you the ingredients we're going to use. This is diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth. It looks like white flour, but it's called diatomaceous earth, DE. It has many wonderful benefits. We're going to be talking about that sometimes in the future. And then, of course, we have our avocado pear that we're going to be using. Then this is our aubergine or eggplant. Some people call it garden egg. You can use any other type, any other variety of garden egg, but this is the one that is very fleshy. I mean, one or two of these is enough to make amala for one person, an adult grown man. Then this is cabbage, which we are going to use to make fufu. Here we have chia seeds, which we are going to grind dry and then add to our smoothie, and we'll tell you what it is useful for. Here we have cinnamon powder, which we are going to be using in various ways. You can use this to cook all your food, your soup, your moi moi, your beans. You can add it to your smoothie. You can even make it into tea. You can just put a teaspoonful in your teacup, add hot water, no sugar, no milk, just sweeten with stevia, and you're good to go. We also have, of course, a strawberry that we're going to be using in our smoothie also today. And then we have kiwi that we're also going to be using in our smoothie. And then this is stevia. This is one brand of stevia, all right? It's a zero-calorie sweetener, so to speak, so very good for diabetics who are monitoring their sugar. And then we have olive oil, extra virgin olive oil that we're going to be using here. We also have oats that we're going to be using for our soaked oats. And then we have psyllium husk, which is the fiber of choice, the binder, the thickener that we're going to be using, 0 calorie as well. And then, of course, we have our coconut milk. We'll be using this in our smoothie. We're also going to be using it in our soaked oats. So those are some of the ingredients that we're going to be using here today. And in the kitchen with me today is Dr. Melody Akinyemi.
Hello.
And we have Ms. Tosin Adeleye. By the way, Tosin Adeleye is the Executive Secretary of Reverend Tony Akinyemi Scholarship Foundation, where we offer scholarships to indigent but brilliant students. We have offered scholarships to more than hundreds and hundreds of students through high school, through university, and even for postgraduate studies. And in case you have people you know who are brilliant but indigent, or indigent but brilliant, and they don't have anybody to sponsor them in school, we are ready to help at the Reverend Tony Akinyemi Scholarship Foundation. And Tosin Adeleye is the lady in charge of that scheme. She's just joining us today in our makeshift kitchen. And so we're going to start right now by starting with the aubergine. We want to start cooking the aubergine. To make the aubergine into amala, all you need to do is to chop this into small blocks and cubes, and that's it. Then you put it into your pot and cook it for approximately 10 minutes until tender. So we have the aubergine already cut out there. So she's going to add it to the boiling water, and it doesn't have to be boiling water. You can start out with cold water, but we wanted it to be fast. That's why we already started boiling the water before now. So they're going to pour it gently, don't let it splash. Okay. So we have the aubergine on fire. That will be cooking for maximum 10 minutes, and it should be tender enough to go. And we cover it, and there we go. So once that is done, we will come back to how to make it into amala. We are going to go on right now and blend our chia seeds. let's blend our chia seeds here. Tosin, would you help with that? We just put like 2 tablespoonfuls of chia seed, just 2 tablespoonfuls, and we're going to blend it dry without water. We're going to be using that in our smoothie as part of the optional ingredients in our cocoa keto smoothie, raw cocoa keto smoothie. Now, when you blend it, you can then make it part of your smoothie. Yeah. Yeah. What the chia seeds does is that chia seed has a lot of omega-3 oil, a lot of fiber, and then it also contains a particular substance that helps in lowering creatinine in the blood. For those whose kidneys have already been impaired with diabetes and you want to remove creatinine, you want to clean the blood properly, that is what chia seed is supposed to do. Next, we are going to go on to our cabbage, which again we have cut into pieces. We want to blend this one. We don't have to cook this one in advance. We just blend it as it is with a little water, not too much water. And we're going to be using the blended cabbage to make fufu, cabbage fufu, another kind of swallow in Nigeria. Okay, that should be enough for now. We will add, as it goes down, we add the rest. So we add a little water to it, not too much water, and we blend it. Now, we are going to squeeze out the water at the end of the day, and we are not going to throw away the water. The water that we get from this, add a little more, okay? The water we get from this, now you have to have a very powerful blender that can get the job done. If your blender is a toy, it wouldn't do a good job. So you need a very strong blender. I'll tell you what to do with the juice that we get or the liquid that we extract from that. That is for another use. But for now, we'll be using the solid to make swallow. Okay, go ahead, please, and blend.
Okay, so we're done blending the cabbage, and then we're going to pour it into the cheesecloth for Tosin to squeeze out the juice.
Okay, so while Tosin is squeezing out the juice from the blended cabbage, we will get to see the solid. All we need is to put it into a cooking pot, and we'll tell you what to do next to turn it into swallow. Now, the juice that comes from that squeeze, we're also going to use it to make, you can use it to make your smoothie. You can make it the liquid to blend your smoothie. You can also add your electrolytes. You can add some stevia to it. You can add avocado pear to it. You can add different kinds of things to make your smoothie. Now, those who have peptic ulcer, that cabbage juice is a remedy for peptic ulcer as well. It's very good in helping it to heal. So when you add some other things to flavor it and then drink it, it actually helps a great deal. So next, we're going to have to make our raw cocoa keto smoothie right now. We already have the coconut milk right here inside this. You can buy your coconut and you can crack your coconut and take out the coconut flesh as well as the coconut water, put it into your blender, and you can blend your coconut and pour it into that cheesecloth and squeeze out the milk. You're going to be needing the milk, and this is how you get the milk. Or you can buy store-bought coconut milk that has no preservative in it, and you can use it for that. So the other ingredients we are going to be using in our smoothie, we already blended our chia seeds, 2 tablespoonfuls of chia seeds. So she's going to pour that right into the coconut milk. Or you can blend 2 tablespoonfuls of flaxseed. So we have 2 tablespoonfuls of our blended. It was exactly 2 tablespoonfuls we blended, so it's going to go in straight away. Just put them straight away. So the blended chia seed goes in there. And then she will add the avocado pear, our avocado pear, which is there. Okay. So you add just enough to make for, depending on the number of people you are making for, that should be good enough. Okay, then you can add the other ingredients. We also have kiwi. All those are optional ingredients, by the way. You can add kiwi. We have already sliced into 1 or 2 pieces like that. Okay, that's fine. Then you can add strawberries if you also like to take strawberries, you can add strawberries to it. Maybe 1 or 2 strawberries, or 3 or 4, as the case may be. And that is it. And then you can add a little bit of olive oil because we want it to be high in fat. We have the coconut milk, which is high in fat. We have the avocado pear, which is high in fat. And now we have the olive oil. We can also add coconut oil if you choose. Okay. If you like, you can also add a teaspoonful of flaxseed to thicken. But since we have the chia seed, I wouldn't be adding the flaxseed. And then to make it taste nice, we can actually add stevia. You know, stevia is a sweetener, and we add that sweetener. Okay. So we have the sweetener. I just cut it, and we just add it to it. All right. That's the stevia. If you like, you can add a little bit more water, and that will just be fine. And then we blend. Now, where is our, okay, this is our cinnamon. Cinnamon is very important because it helps you in sharpening your insulin sensitivity. So a teaspoonful of cinnamon is just okay. And so we have just a little cinnamon, which we add to it, and that settles that. So we go ahead and blend. You can shake it and blend. You can add a little more water if you choose, depending on the consistency that you want. That blender that is blending, that is the TryBest personal blender. Okay, and that's it. I will explain why it is called a personal blender. It has various sizes of cups. This is one size, which is about 12 ounces. It has another size, which is about 4 ounces. It has another size, which is about 8 ounces. Okay, different sizes of cups. So let's say we are 3 in the family, and I want to make a special type of smoothie. Maybe I don't want banana in my own, you know, or somebody else doesn't want chia seed in their own. Another person doesn't want strawberry in their own. Each person just loads their cups. Right. So you just load your cup with the kind of recipe you want, and then you collect the blade. Just give me the blade. I load my cup. She loads her own cup with whatever she wants. She loads her own cup with whatever she wants, and we just change the blade. I just mount the blade on my cup, and then you put it right here and blend and press. And then it just goes ahead and blends. So that's why it's called personal blender. Each cup is personal to each individual. So we can actually make smoothies, 3 different recipes, and all of us will be happy with what we have. Unlike when you use this type of blender, where you make a whole batch and each person has to be dishing from the same recipe. Now, this allows for variety. It's called the TryBest Personal Blender, and it's very, very wonderful. Okay, it also has the type of cup with a kind of cap that has a pouch that you can actually drink from, which makes it very easy. So we are done with our raw cocoa keto smoothie, and this is breakfast. By the time you drink this, you can add a little bit of protein powder, like living protein, living fuels, living protein, or hemp protein, or pea protein. And that gives you that satiety. It makes you feel so full. You are not hungry. You are not craving after anything. You can add a little bit of L-glutamine, which is a special type of amino acid that helps to quench sugar cravings into your smoothie. And you can flavor it with different flavors. You can use vanilla to give it vanilla flavor. You can add a little vanilla. You can add a little carob powder. Carob powder is like cocoa powder without the caffeine, and it gives you some chocolatey flavor. You can add diatomaceous earth, which helps in deworming, it helps in detoxing, and it also helps in deodorizing and doing so many wonderful things, okay? It also absorbs toxins, including heavy metals, in your digestive tract. So it's doing so many things all at the same time. You can flavor it with coconut oil to give it coconutty flavor. You can give, the list is endless. You can add a little bit turmeric, a little bit cinnamon, you can add a little bit of ginger, a little bit of garlic, so many things that can be added to that smoothie. And you can be changing the recipe. The main ingredients must remain. The nut milk must be there, either coconut milk or tiger nut milk, or almond milk, or hazelnut milk. The cinnamon must be there. The avocado must be there. The coconut oil is important, and then the omega-3 oil. Once you have those central ingredients, then you can add the optional ingredients and create a variety of flavors throughout your 7-day week. So you don't repeat any flavor any day. So we are done with that. Now, the next one we're going to be doing is going to be our soaked oats, which is the second breakfast option for today. Soaked oats. We already have the coconut milk in that glass. So what we're going to be doing is that we are going to be adding 2 tablespoonfuls of chia seeds. This time we are not blending the chia seeds. The whole grain as it is. 2 tablespoonfuls of chia seeds will be added to the coconut milk. Okay, we just add it straight away. And then we can add 2 to 4 tablespoonfuls of oats. Now we're going to be adding 2 right now because the jar is very small. So you can just fill that. Okay, 2 tablespoonfuls of oats will be added to the jar. Okay, and then you can sweeten with maybe half a sachet of stevia, depending on how sweet you want it. We can add a little stevia to sweeten it. Okay. Just a little, depending on how you want it. We can also add a teaspoonful of cinnamon powder. A teaspoonful of cinnamon powder. Right. You may want to add a little water so it can have some room to absorb the water and soak it in properly. So we have, add a little more, a little more, a little more. Okay, so we cover it and then we shake it vigorously. You shake it vigorously. All right, so you can see. All you need to do now is keep it in the refrigerator for 48 to 72 hours. Let it soak it in. Maybe on a daily basis, you can just go there, take it out, and shake it again, and then keep it back 24 hours later, take it out, shake it again. You have to keep it in the fridge so that it doesn't ferment, it doesn't go bad. It stays in the fridge. And that's it. After 48 hours, 72 hours, the thing will have soaked in the water. The oats and the chia seeds, everything will have become very tender. All you need to do is pour it into a bowl. And it's like cooked oats. It comes out like porridge, and you can then enjoy it in the morning. For some, they may want to add a little mai by the side to take it, and that's fine. So you have the coconut milk. You can use almond milk, hazelnut milk. You can use rice milk. You can use, all kinds of nut milk, and that will be fine. So we are done with that. Okay, so we come back to the cabbage that we blended, and where's the solid cabbage now? Can we see it on the bowl so that people can see it? Can we get one of that? All right. So you can show them, you can pour it into the pot, pour everything in there. Okay, so what we have here is we have the solid. But this time, you see, if you take it up, it crumbles. It doesn't stick together, it crumbles. All right? So that's why we need to add a binder and a thickener. So we're going to be, as it is now, no water added. We put it on fire. And we're going to be adding like a tablespoonful of psyllium husk. And then we have our spatula. So we put it on fire. And we add a tablespoonful of psyllium husk. And then we continue to turn and turn on fire for approximately 3 minutes or thereabouts. Just turn it and turn it and turn it. The psyllium husk will absorb some of the moisture, and then it will swell, it will thicken, and then it will bind. So it holds like the same way we have fufu in Nigeria. All right, so 3 minutes, thereabout, maximum 5 minutes, depending on the volume. quantity. So we just bind it together and bind it together.
A little bit of water, please.
Yeah, you can. Okay, it's too dry. You can add a little bit of water. Okay. Right. So you turn it and turn it and turn it, and then it binds together. So that's how cabbage fufu is made. And within 3 minutes, maximum 5 minutes, it's done. And then you can put it on your bowl, and you can eat it with any of our Nigerian soups. You can eat it with egusi soup, with vegetable soup, with okra soup, with ogbono soup. I mean, it's your choice. The kind of Nigerian type of soup. We call it soup in this part of the world. They call it sauce in other parts of the world. You just dip it into it and you swallow it. You don't have to chew. That's why we call it swallow. It's already pre-mashed. It's already pre-digested, so to speak. So can you get that plate and let her put it in the plate? And then we'll see how it goes. Because the psyllium husk that we used is actually tending towards brownish in color, so it changes the color a little bit to brown. There are some fine ground psyllium husk that is not as brownish as this. If you use that type, you will find that it comes out as whitish as your semovita. So you can actually put it right there on the plate. Yes. All right. So that is your cabbage fufu. That fufu was made from cabbage. A diabetic can eat that with egusi soup, and it's fantastic. Your blood sugar will never go up. So we have done 2 kinds of breakfast on the diabetic menu. We have had soaked oats, and we have had the raw cocoa keto smoothie. Then we are also doing 2 kinds of swallows. We have done the cabbage fufu. We have made fufu from this cabbage. Now we want to make amala from this aubergine or eggplant. Now we cut the aubergine, we cooked it so you can drain the water off. All right? And we are going to put the aubergine right in here. The aubergine cooked and tender. Approximately 10 minutes of cooking is enough. And it goes right into the blender. Okay. And this is, we actually cut 2 aubergine, 2 average sized aubergines, and that is enough for an adult man's swallow meal in Nigeria. Okay. So the aubergine is in there. You don't have to add any water. You want it to be thick. So we put it right in there, into the blender, and we blend. Right. No need to add any water. That's why you must have a very powerful, big blender. That gets the job done very fast. So we're done. Probably 1 minute to blend. And then you pour it right into your cooking pot. Okay? Yeah, that's it. You can use the spoon to clear everything else. So you can now put on the fire. Okay. So the next thing is I'm going to put a teaspoonful of psyllium husk. Just spread it on top of it. Okay. And then we turn it for about 2-3 minutes. And amala is ready. It's as straightforward as that. So you see how important your psyllium husk is. You can add it to your smoothie. You can use it to make your cabbage fufu. You can use it to make your aubergine amala. You can also use this same to make another type of fufu, like almost like semovita. You get 2 tablespoonfuls of coconut flour plus 2 tablespoonfuls of almond flour, fine ground almond flour, fine ground coconut flour, and then 1 tablespoonful of psyllium husk. So it's 2-2-1. 2 tablespoonfuls coconut flour, 2 tablespoonfuls almond flour, and 1 tablespoonful psyllium husk. You premix the 3 powders, then you put your pot on fire, okay, and then you cook it. You put it on fire and boil the water, and then you pour the flour into the water as if you are pouring semovita into the water, and then you turn it the way we turn it in Nigeria into semovita. Within 5 minutes, your swallow is ready. That's coconut flour plus almond flour plus psyllium husk. That's another type of swallow. So you already have 3 types of swallow. The 4th one will be you get green plantain, unripe plantain. Wash it very well. You don't have to peel it. Just cut off the 2 ends, and then you cut it into small pieces. Put it into your blender, add a little water, blend it until very smooth with the skin, okay? And then pour it into your cooking pot and put it on fire. You don't have to add psyllium husk to that. It's just plain plantain, unpeeled. You blend it with the skin. If you want to peel it, you can peel it, but when you leave the skin on, it increases the fiber content. It also increases the potassium content. But if you already have kidney impairment and you don't want too much of potassium, then you can take off the skin. Now, it will just change the color of the amala that ensues out of that. You put it on fire, and then you put it on fire and heat it more. Okay? Turn it until it all binds together very well and becomes very sticky. Come on, turn it. And so that's how to make aubergine amala, cabbage fufu, and then coconut flour plus almond flour plus psyllium husk, or instead of psyllium husk, you can use arrowroot flour. Arrowroot, A-R-R-O-W, arrow. Root, R-O-O-T. Arrowroot flour. It also serves as a thickener and a binder, and it is equally low glycemic. These are the different options that you have. You can pour it. It will thicken right on the plate. So that can serve 1 adult. Pour it on the plate, please. Aha. That is your garden egg amala. All you need to do is leave it like that for about 10 minutes. As it gets colder, it solidifies. Now, if you have it in the bowl like this, excuse me. If you have it in the bowl like this, the way we eat it in Nigeria, you just leave it at the center, leave it for some 10 minutes to cool, and then you can put your ewedu and your gbegiri and goat meat. Your life will not remain the same. Now, so this is our demo for today. We have made our raw cocoa keto smoothie. You can also add green leaves like spinach, like ugu, like bitter leaf. We have also made our soaked oats, okay? After 24 hours or 72 hours, it's good to go to eat. You don't have to cook it. You just pour it into your bowl and you eat it as your breakfast. If you don't want it cold because it's coming out of the fridge, you pour it into your bowl like this, and then you can put your bowl on inside hot water. Maybe this is hot water in a bowl. You just put it inside hot water for about 5 minutes to warm it up. You don't have to cook it, and that's it. And you enjoy. If you eat your breakfast that way, then in the afternoon you eat your vegetable salad before you now eat your cabbage fufu, and then maybe in the evening you eat your 70% portion of your supper, vegetable salad, and this little aubergine amala with it. Tell me how your sugar will be up. You begin to find out that you don't need some of those medications to lower your blood sugar again, because your body continues to manage its sugar by itself and regulate all the derangements that have happened in your entire endocrine system, in your sugar management mechanism, and before you know it, you are out of the woods. Okay? So this is how far we go today. Thank you to Dr. Melody. Thank you to Tosin Adeleye. And thank you to our camera crew. Thank you for giving us this coverage. Again, we're going back to the studio to sign off. Let's go. We'll be dedicating a whole episode to answering all your questions on diabetes. So we want you to post your questions in the chat room or send us by email to contact@tsfchurch.com. That will be posted on the screen for you to see contact@tsfchurch.com. If we receive enough questions, we will dedicate a whole episode to answering those questions. If we don't have enough, we'll decide what to do. But please keep the questions coming. You can post it right now in the chat room, or you can send it by email to contact@tsfchurch.com. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us in this wonderful episode where we showed you the demonstration of different food items and food options that you have if you're trying to control your blood sugar. Remember that what we need is not more medication, but more education, and the best prescription is knowledge. Don't forget to join us next week, Monday evening, for another interesting discussion on diabetes. We pray that as you listen to us, as you follow some of the principles that are being discussed in these talk shows, your diabetes will be reversed completely and you will be able to prevent diabetes for the rest of your life. Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Actually reverse diabetes. When you understand diabetes, you understand what it is, you understand how it happens, the risk factors, the causes, and the complications that it can give rise to. Those who already have it, to start putting measures in place to reverse it, or at the very least to control it. My daughter is a medical doctor and I am a nutritionist. We co-authored Defeating Diabetes Naturally. You'll find it on Amazon.com, and you can also buy hard copies from our bookshop, the Shepherd Stores Limited, on number 18 Shogunde Street, Abule Onibagbo, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria.